At first I thought Bolin was the worst character, but looking over my notes, that turned out not to be the case. And no, Korra haters, it's not who you think it is. I actually think this is gonna be my most successful video considering how people love hyperbole.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready? Ready!
But I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm being completely honest when I say this is the worst character. While I believe Tarlok's relationship with Korra didn't provide the needed direction for Book 2, this character made things a lot worse. I always hated Tonrok. It started with him keeping Korra stuck at the South Pole, but then I realized there was a lot more to this than just questionable parenting behind his actions. Tonrok is behind several problems in this series, and the more I look into his character, the more disturbed I am. Yep, even more than with Bolin.
Coin monster, Tonrok is a morally grey character. Just wait until you're a parent.
No. A good parent would not even think of over-sheltering their child like this. Korra is the avatar for fuck's sakes. She's going to be in danger no matter what. If anything else, this made matters so much worse. This is the reason why Korra had such a hard time confronting even a picture of Amon in Book 1. It's been proven by psychologists that over-sheltering your children will only make it harder for them to deal with their own fears. Regardless of that fact, that entire argument is BTFO'd by one rather concerning thing. Tonrok lied to Korra about whose idea it was to keep her stuck at the South Pole, saying it was Aang who came up with it, when it was actually him and Tenzin who decided this. Why did Tenzin and Tonrok even say it was Aang's idea in the first place? The only reason I can think of is that Tonrok was embarrassed that he had his ass kicked by the Red Lotus, on top of being banished. Or he was afraid of his own daughter getting angry at him. Either way, keeping Korra stuck at home isn't even about her. It's about him. Also, that's rather inconsistent with what happened in the series premiere, when Tonrok and his wife Senna were perfectly fine with Korra going to Republic City all by herself. A morally grey character is someone who has to make difficult decisions to protect themselves or others, and whose actions lie in an ethical grey area. There's nothing difficult about passing the blame off to someone else. That's the most childish thing a person can do. This isn't how you write a morally great character. This is how you write a complete jackass. Now, like I said in the introduction for this series, I pointed out that Korra is a borderline Mary Sue, but Tonrok is a full Mary Sue, or rather a Gary Stu or Marty Stu. Tonrok is the reason why Korra has such a bad temper, and oversteps people's boundaries so much because of his overparenting. Korra learned that Tonrok had lied to her for her entire life, and then is forgiven in what can be assumed to be a matter of days. Making matters worse is that his wife has been enabling these lies, with the bullshit excuse, "We just wanted you to have a normal childhood." Tonrok teams up with the people who kidnapped Unalaq.
You what?
And then has his ass kicked by Unalaq and his men. Then, in spite of his fuck-ups, he is given the role of chief of the Northern Water Tribe, thus turning Korra into a borderline Mary Sue, by granting Korra her unwarranted princess role. Want to know what the final nail in the coffin was? For me, it was Unalaq setting up Tonrok, only for his response to be, "My brother betrayed me."
How could this happen to me? Everyone else made my mistakes!
No, Mike and Brian. You don't get to bail him out like this. Even if Unalaq did set his brother up, Unalaq was still rash and incompetent regardless. Tonrok is an adult responsible for his own actions. Why did he commit such a cultural taboo when he could have just used neutral Jing and done nothing? The spirits would have taken care of the barbarians themselves for trespassing on their land. Do you want to know why I would argue Amon was the greater evil in Season 1? It was because the whole time he knew Tarlok was his brother, and didn't learn anything. Tarlok, after learning Amon was his missing brother, he realized that both of them became the monsters that their fathers raised them to be, and accepted responsibility for his own actions. What did Tonrok learn when he found out Unalaq was partly responsible for the spirit forest being destroyed?
Nothing! Absolutely nothing!
Tonrok, what exactly did you do in the past to make your brother realize you were this impulsive? This is off script, but I really don't want to get the reputation of being one of those angry reviewers, because, well, they've overstayed their welcome. So, even after how pissed off I got at Tonrok, I can fix this character. You want me to not just tolerate Tonraq, but actually like him and his arc? Here's how it can be done.
I can make this work.
The first problem has actually already been taken care of. Given Korra would now be old enough to remember being kidnapped by the Red Lotus in this timeline, Tonraq, Tenzin, and Senna now no longer have a reason to lie to Korra at all. Keep Tonraq a general who is banished, but get rid of Unalaq setting him up. Just like with Amon's fake backstory, it needlessly complicated the plot, and it only hurt the impact of their villainry. Unalaq setting up his brother, quote-unquote, doesn't make me want to hate him. It makes me want to go full angry video game nerd on the writers. And just like I suggested with Korra, make Tonraq have no blood relation to Unalaq or have them be cousins. So the relationship is more distant and doesn't give anyone roles that they don't need or deserve. Considering Tonraq and Unalaq had no chemistry to begin with, you don't even have to reanimate these scenes because the context would stay exactly the same. Now to fix the conflict, we have to start by rewriting the series premiere. Korra is kidnapped by the Red Lotus at age 5, leading to the White Lotus coming over and looking into this matter. They learn that Korra is the Avatar when she shows them she can both earth and firebend. Skip to years later, Korra is shown writing to Asami, who is her pen pal. Tonraq had it ordered that all of Korra's mail needs to be checked if she's gonna have a pen pal. Korra, becoming an adult, is growing less tolerant of this. Korra learns that Tenzin won't be able to teach her airbending due to the terrorism and civil unrest going on in Republic City. Korra watches the airbenders leave and then looks down at the letter she wants to send to Asami, deciding she's had enough. Wanting to see Asami and learn airbending motivates her to sneak out, with Katara finding her. Katara says she'll notify Korra's parents and the White Lotus after Korra leaves, asking for forgiveness instead of permission. Korra arrives in Republic City and meets Asami, and stays with her for a night. This is when Korra tells Asami she's the Avatar, and Asami comes up with the idea of Korra disguising herself. Back at the South Pole, Tonraq and Senna are afraid of what happened to Korra after finding her room empty. Katara tells Korra's parents that she's in Republic City all by herself, and Tonraq loses his shit. Korra, being arrested like she originally was in the series premiere, is in police custody, and Tenzin is there to send her home. At Air Temple Island's harbor, Tonraq is there with Tenzin and tells Korra off for terrifying him and his wife. Korra then argues with her father, telling her Asami came up with a compromise. Tonraq is at first horrified that Korra told Asami she was the Avatar, but then with some reasoning, both him and Tenzin decide the disguise is doable to keep Korra safe. Let this conflict boil over into Book 2. Despite Korra telling the world she's the Avatar in Book 1's final, oops, spoilers I guess, Tonraq still gets into an argument with Korra and Unalaq over who will teach her about the spirits. Instead of Senna making a bullshit excuse for lying to her child, have her explain why Tonraq blatantly disregarded his culture's warnings about trespassing on spirit grounds, and why it is so difficult for so many people to admit when they're wrong. Have it that Tonraq had to take a risk attacking in the spirit forest because the barbarians would only continue to terrorize his people. The risk doesn't pay off, resulting in him being banished and making him fear any risk is not worth taking. This would explain why Tonraq would overshelter his daughter after she is kidnapped. Don't resolve this conflict within a few episodes like you did originally. Stretch this out for the whole season. Korra, now increasingly frustrated with her own mistakes, resulting in her losing her second waterbending mentor, Tarlok, learning her father isn't who she thought he was, causes her to push him out of her life. Have Tonraq earn Korra's trust back.
But Koi Monster, that's so cruel. You can't make Korra reject her own father?
Yeah, I can. You would do the same thing if you had to put up with this. And for those who wouldn't, leaving toxic people in your life, regardless of whether they're related to you or not, isn't healthy. Who would want to keep Tonraq in their life after everything I described?
All we've done, all that's happened is we have been attacked.
Attacked?
Attacked.
Why are you behaving like this?
Because I'm insulted. You verbally insulted me yesterday, and I held my
told you
tongue
the
out of
truth.
class. I didn't tell you the truth. I didn't
Why are you
say
pointing?
nasty things to you.
Really?
Okay, really, I didn't really.
When I told you about the burger, you refused to listen.
You don't understand. You're judging me on you coming in here, disrupting the entire service. I've been doing this.
Disrupting?
You did disrupt us last night. How could I focus when you're
What about
on
my
my
lunch?
food? When you're standing here
What about when
talking,
you
my
cooked for
husband.
me?
What about when I cooked for you?
Who distracted you then?
Everybody. What are you talking about?
blaming everybody again.
I do my best so our business doesn't close because we can't find qualified people. You go get Miranda and that little Katie and Jessica. Bring them here
The only
and let
reason-
me see how they work.
They won't come back
Will
in
you
here.
do that? Of course.
They're-
Oh,
Do you know what? They're
'Cause
scared of you.
they're
and
scared
they're
of me.
embarrassed. But unfortunately, you've convinced yourself in your little Amy's world that everything you cook, touch, send is perfect.
I do not. What? Are
Love
you?
it.
Am I arguing?
Garlic
with
aioli
you?
goes well with white truffle.
Well,
That
let
pasta's
me
delicious.
show you some. Can I show you reviews? Hundreds of
Oh,
reviews
no.
that are excellent that
Oh,
you
no.
didn't write that
Not
are
the
from real
bullies on the
customers.
internet again.
No, good reviews, real customers that have supported us for
Look
6
at the way
years.
look at the way.
You're attacking my business
Attacking.
and my life. This is
I'm
all
telling
I
you the
do is
problems.
live this life every day. You're not telling me the problems. You are saying I'm delusional, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. Can we talk about what we came here to speak about,
No.
please?
Yeah, let them finish. Yeah, I want them to
You
finish.
told me to
what
be
you
honest
say. I am always
about the
honest.
problems that you've had, that you cannot talk to your wife, and the issues that she can't take criticism before
she knows that.
I met
That's
you.
fine. I have no problem
No,
saying
yes,
that.
That's fine. Wow. You're too far gone.
Okay, then let's end the show. You think I'm too far gone? There's no hope. Yalla, yalla. It's Christmas. Let's go home. Okay.
I can't help people that can't help themselves and cannot ever take 1 ounce of criticism. And if you're not willing to change, I'm not going to butt heads, argue, scream, whatever you want to say. But this is not normal. And it's not normal for a restaurant to go through that many staff. It's not normal for a kitchen that small to have 65 items on the menu. And it's not normal for the level of animosity that you've built inside this restaurant and outside. You have the right to run the business the way you want to run your business. I have the right to do the right thing. And the right thing for me is to get out of here. Good luck.
At the end of the season, have Tonrock tell Korra the positive side of his mess up. That is that he learned not to mess with forces he doesn't understand. And along with the new superhero plot point, show Tonrock learn from his own daughter.
I was so terrified when you told the world that you were the Avatar. But seeing you now flourish after you took that risk, I am so proud of you. You have taught me how important it is to not fear risks.
Tonrock redeeming himself to both his tribe and his family for being banished is good enough for his character. You don't need to overcomplicate it any more than that. Terrible writing advice has made the point in the past that badly written comic relief characters can actually be worse for a story than poorly written love interests. While the bad love interest can be annoying, they don't doom the entire story, and don't wreck the tone like the comic relief can. I actually think that a badly written family member can actually be worse than both of these two things combined. Regardless if I do end up making a video on this topic, regardless if terrible writing advice beats me to the punch, I'm letting you guys know now. If you find yourself in this situation where you wrote a character like this unintentionally, you're gonna have to bite the bullet. I know the topic of families is close to home for all of us, but not addressing your mess-ups head-on will only make things way more awkward.
I'm so angry. This has been an angry review.
A song that gets on everybody's nerves, yes, on everybody's nerves. I know a song that gets on everybody's nerves, and this is how it goes.